So I have the great pleasure of taking over some of the emceeing roles from John, who's been doing a fantastic job throughout the day. And I'd like to say a little bit about John. He's a fabulous person. I've been getting to know him as a colleague over the last couple of years. Of course, he's the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost at the University of Maine system. He was previously the Vice President for Vice Provost for Academic Affairs at the University of Connecticut, as well as a Professor of Natural Resources and the Environment at UConn. He's a member of the CLTE Steering Committee. As I said, I've gotten to know John a little bit over the last couple of years. We spend a lot of time on Zoom. We send a lot of emails. Somehow they seem to come from him at about 4:30 in the morning every day. Although he says he is not a morning person, I'm not sure I totally believe that. He's the youngest of 8 growing up in South Dakota. Listening to Bob's talk, I was thinking about what his parents' life was like and whether they were truly happy as they were raising those 8 children and how they recovered from that. And also, John has done some great research in ecology in the Everglades, but probably one of the things that has made a lasting impression to me about what John values is actually a conversation that he and I had with Rick back in the fall. We were talking about the CLTE. I think we were probably talking about this conference and doing some organization for it. And Rick, in his incredibly gracious way, was talking about how our spouses must be furious with us because we are spending so much time volunteering to do work for the CLTE. And John came back and said, my wife would be furious with me if I didn't do it. So I think that's really an indication of what John and his family values in terms of what he does with his time and the places where he really wants to make a difference. So John now has a chance to tell us a little bit about some of his work at the University of Maine.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Thanks a lot, Keith. I arrived at the University of Maine. So I'm not the provost of the University of Maine system. I'm